Hi, seventh grade, Van Hoosen artists and families. Mrs. Frederick here. Welcome to curriculum night and our seventh grade curriculum night for Art 7. Just in case we haven't met before, if you didn't have art as a sixth grader, my name is Amanda Frederick. I teach art at Van Hoosen, clearly, and I usually can say I am the only art teacher at Van Hoosen. But maybe if you have some eighth grade friends or neighbors or things, you've heard that there's another art teacher at Van Hoosen this year. Her name is Mrs. Lou Allen, and she's wonderful. She travels from Adams to teach a eighth grade art class 6 hour. So your paths might cross with her in years to come, or even at Adams. But just to let parents and students know that I still am here at Van Hoosen, still teaching art, and we just have Mrs. Lou Allen visiting for 6 hour. But getting to know each other a little bit, just in case, again, we don't know each other. I'm Mrs. Frederick, Amanda Frederick. I received my art education degree from Oakland University years ago. My specialization was in studio art, new media. So I did all kinds of digital art, web design, sound art, graphic design, things like that. Although at Van Hoosen, we do usually do more traditional art practices like clay, painting, sculpture, drawing, those types of things. So just a few little more tidbits about myself. My husband Chris and I we live in the district. We live in Rochester, and we have a 3-year-old who started preschool this year, Caleb, and a 6-year-old who started first grade this year, and her name is Ava. Nice to see all of you. I wish we were in the art room together, but for this year, it'll have to do and serve its purpose. All right, a little bit of overview of seventh grade art and what you can expect for your students in my class this semester. Art at Van Hoosen is a semester class. So I will have your students from now until like mid-January. I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're going to pull up the course syllabus, which you can find, students, you can find on your Google Classroom page. I did send an email to parents and students with a link for Google Classroom, so they could just click and join. Parents, be on the lookout, though. I am going to email just parents and guardians in the next couple of days this document, my classroom expectations document that you'll see in a moment, and then a couple other just pieces of information for you so that you don't have to have your student go on Google Classroom and try to find those. So I will be sending an email separately with those things should you want to look at them at your leisure. But as we said, this is seventh grade art, Art 7, kind of like intermediate art. Your student's no longer a sixth grader and doing all those intro activities. They're not quite an eighth grader yet. We're right in the middle. And seventh grade art is a really, really fun class. We do a lot of hands-on 3D stuff. We work with wire, with paper mache, with plaster, with clay. We have some collage and cut and torn paper, kind of more experiences that you don't get to have in sixth grade or eighth grade art. So seventh grade art is a fun place to be. This quote I just love by Elliot Eisner, and one of the documents that I'm going to put in the email to you all soon is by Elliot Eisner. It's called 10 Lessons the Arts Teach. And Elliot Eisner is a really well-known art education and professional and professor. And he just is so eloquent, and he really hits the nail on the head with why art is so important for your students and how happy I am that they're here and they're taking art and they're getting that experience. But that first quote right under Art 7, I just love. And what a good time for your students to be in visual arts too. Like just everything that, everybody has gone through in the last couple of years. And art, I truly feel like is an outlet, a release, a stress reliever for your students. And again, I'm glad they're here with me. So this is just kind of the first part, the class description. Notice too that the 2D design, painting, 3D, beyond the basics. This point right here, this is beyond the basics, like I said. So they're no longer sixth graders just doing that intro stuff. We're kind of trying to dig deep, get a little bit more into art history and artists, make art that's more relevant to your personal interests, rather than just those like intro skills. Course aims and objectives are here. Notice italicized words like understand, appreciate, informed, communicate, inquirer, self-confidence, all those wonderful things your students will get to hone in on this semester with me. This is kind of like the business part, right? Academic conduct, grading, and attendance. I follow just what Van Hoosen has in their student handbook. Self-management, I like to throw this little piece in there too. There's a lot of freedom in the art room and a lot of choice, like freedom of choice. We talk a lot about respect in the art room and respecting each other and this dynamic between student and teacher, and how do we best communicate with each other respectfully, how to respect our materials. So, not only art skills, but some really good life skills learned in class also. Assessment, if you haven't had me as a teacher before, or even, last year as a sixth grader was a little bit different. But now that we're in person, 5 days a week, hours 1 through 6, I'm going to go back to my regular assessment criteria. I use a standards-based approach, meaning I'm going to pick, or I choose one of these 4 standards, A through D, to focus in on during each project. And I give students real, clear, and tangible goals to achieve each project. So they can almost like check the box. Did I do this? Yes. Did I do this? Yes. Did I do this? Well, maybe I should go work on that one a little bit more so that every student can succeed. So I don't grade on good. I don't grade on pretty. I don't say, oh, this student's project looks great, so we're going to base everybody's off of this. It's very individual, lots of room for creativity and personal expression like I have here. And if you ever have any questions about grading or any of my policies, anything at all, you can always reach out to me. Assessment breakdown, though, this is important to see too, because last year as a sixth grader, if you had art, it was either a satisfactory, an S, an unsatisfactory U, or an S or a U for grading. And this year it's letter grading. So our projects in class are worth 70% and our sketchbooks are worth 30%. I talk to the kids a lot about how sketchbook work is important. It is just as important as projects. It's where we form our ideas. It's where we're really getting practice down. So sketchbooks are part of our daily work. And then, as I mentioned, if you ever need to reach out to me, you've got questions about something, even if it's, non-art related, feel free to reach out anytime. Email is a really good first point of contact, and then we can arrange a time to chat or meet. 6th hour is my conference period. So let's move on to classroom expectations. And each teacher at Van Hoosen has one of these, whether it's posted or not, or on their Google Classroom or not. Mine look a little bit different, as I'm sure other teachers do in this COVID era. But the number one expectation is that you're coming in with your mask on per, Oakland County Health Department right now. And I just ask the kids too, if they can remember to come in and wash their hands. And that way, we're covering all the bases. I disinfect materials and tabletops each day after each hour, keep everything real safe and clean for your students. But it's also just one little nice extra step if they can come in and wash their hands too. And then we bring a sketchbook and a pencil daily to class, no food in the room. And that was even just pre-COVID. We don't want to have food in our art. Water is okay. Sign out for restroom use, that your students know that drill by now in the room. We respect for each other, like we talked about in that syllabus, self-management expectation. Clean up, no cell phones. I'm glad we have lockers this year. We can just put those right in their lockers. And just go along with our art day. So again, I'm going to send you an email, parents and guardians, with both of those documents with the syllabus and the classroom expectations, so that you don't have to have your student open up Google Classroom should you want to see those closer. And yeah, I'm really excited for a great year with your students. I think, this year is just bound to be better than last. And I think every day is just going to keep getting better and better. So again, feel free to reach out with any questions you might have. And I'm really excited to have your student in 7th grade art this year. Thank you.